What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Leaders Lead, Winners Win, where we talk leadership, life lessons, and sales, because that's what we're here to do. That's what we love to do. And somebody once told me that if you get really damn good at sales and you get really damn good at leading people, the money will follow. You know, beat on your craft, be an incredible leader, have a voice for those that don't want to speak up, and ultimately get really good at sales and selling people things the right way. And you'll be rich beyond your wildest dreams. Now, look, that's not why we're doing it, but someone once told me that, and I took it to heart. And we're on that path. We're on that journey. We're trying to get as good as we possibly can at both. But welcome to another episode. We're excited to have you. We are. What I'd like to talk about today is my biggest leadership lesson. And this, I've learned a lot along the way. I made a lot of fucking mistakes. There's no doubt about it in life and in business. But this is the biggest one. You see, everybody's heard of the golden rule. What's the golden rule? Treat people how you would like to be treated. And I took that and I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to run with that as a leadership motto. And what I will tell you is that that got me into a lot of trouble. That made me make a lot of mistakes because I believed that everybody was me because I was treating everybody as if they were me. Again, the golden rule, treat people how you would like to be treated. Well, not everybody's you, and not everybody wants to be treated like you would treat them. So, and I can go through so many different mistakes that I've made, from speaking to people a certain way, to expecting someone to understand what standards and principles are, to expecting someone to understand what you're talking about the first time that you spoke to them about it, from thinking that everybody learned visually like I learn. And that's not the case, right? You can learn visually, audibly, you can learn kinesthetically, you can learn so many different ways, from writing things out, so on and so forth. Not everybody's you. I can go on and on, so many different mistakes. And the reality of the situation as a leader, when you lead that way and you lead as if treating people the way that you would like to be treated, you'll lose a lot of people along the way. And I have. There's been multiple people, probably somewhere in the double-digit range that's over maybe 40, I don't even know how many folks, that not just quit on the company maybe that I was working for and leading in, but quit on me. And regardless of who you want to point fingers to or on or whatever the case is, great leaders look in the mirror and point at themselves. They look at the mirror and they take extreme ownership and they say, yo, I could have done a better job. And I don't give a shit what the circumstance is. You could have done a better job. I could have done a better job. It's just the truth. So I've adopted a new rule, and I adopted this rule quite a long time ago. And it's simple. They call that the golden rule. Maybe we just call this the life rule, because this works in all facets of your life, whether it be a relationship with your significant other, with your kids, with the people that you lead, with your friends and family, and so on and so forth. And that is, treat people the way that they would like to be treated. Everybody is different. Treat people the way that they would like to be treated. If it's your significant other and you haven't looked up the 5 love languages, you should. You should both take that test. Because one person, their love language could be receiving gifts, and the other person could be acts of service or quality time. And you could be giving that your significant other a acts of service type of love where you're taking their card or go get it serviced for them because you know that benefits you or whatever the case is, when really they just want to spend quality time with them. Treat people the way that they would like to be treated. Maybe It's your kids, and maybe you have multiple kids. And again, leadership transcends not only at the office, but at home as well. That's why I'm talking about it. That's why leaders lead. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe it's with your kids, and you see that you're raising your kid and you're like, damn, I'm doing a really good job with that kid. And then the other one, you're not. Maybe that's because that kid is somebody that needs a straight talking to and needs that tough love. And the other needs a little bit more of TLC and a little bit more of the why behind the reasons why you say no. So again, it comes back to you. So for those parents that are listening, if you fucked up with one or the other kid, it's okay. Just treat them how they would like to be treated. It's important. Figure out what their needs, wants, desires, and how they would like to be talked to. You know, it's before we get into the business side of these things, and I'm going to give you some good tips. You know, what's interesting is I've been around enough leaders that say, you know what, man, look, bud, people are just going to have to adapt to me. Parents, friends, I don't care, significant others, you know what, I'm going to be me, and they're going to have to adopt to my style. It is what it is. I know I'm hot shit. I know I'm good. I know this, whatever the case is. I've had the experience, whatever excuse that person's going to make. It's so interesting to me because it's never worked. It never has. People shouldn't adapt to you. The world doesn't revolve around you, bro. Like, you are so egocentric that you think that everybody needs to adapt to you. Your kids need to adapt to you. Your wife needs to adapt to you. Your people that you're leading needs to adapt to you. Bullshit. So you got to treat people the way they want to be treated. I'm going to keep saying that. Beat it in your head. Treat people the way that they want to be treated. And you know what? You know what's interesting about this is it takes a little bit more work. And that's okay. It should take more work. The great things in life take a little bit more fucking work. It is what it is, and time. So yeah, it's going to take you a little bit of time and a little bit more work to do your research on that person, on what their needs, wants, and desires are, and have a conversation. That's a new word. I almost called you Pastor Rob. Should I call you Pastor Rob? Because you've done so many, what is it? What is it called? Either things you're reading? Yeah, Padre Rob, Pastor Rob, Padre Rob. Conversation. Look someone in the eye and say, hey, what would you like me to do in this situation? Hey, this is coming up. Hey, go over scenarios with them and ultimately have a good conversation. It takes a little bit more time, but I promise you, long-term vision, if you care about the person, then they're in your organization, they're in your life in general, whether it be family, friends, or relationships, it's worth that maybe uncomfortable conversation, but necessary. When it comes to business, you just have to understand that folks learn differently. They respect you differently on different levels. And what I mean by that is this. Some folks, when you're a leader in an organization, maybe you haven't had the interaction that you need to with them. So they have a picture, a version, a thought process of how you are based off of maybe one or two or three interactions. And then if you come at them in a specific way, good, bad, or indifferent, loud, soft, or indifferent, it changes their perception of you pretty quickly and almost immediate because they haven't had that exposure to you for that amount of time. You see, sometimes perception, and you've heard this before, and I don't mean to just talk about catchphrases, but perception is reality. I've had some hard conversations about perception is reality. I come off as a blunt human being for most of the time. I come off as a flashy individual with the things that I wear and the things that I buy or whatever the case is. But at my core, that's just things that are out there. That's just a perception. Is it? I don't know. You have to think through those things because maybe they are, maybe they aren't. You got to have some self-reflection. When it comes to, again, people in the business world, I'm going to share something with you that I found super interesting. So there's, I think, 17 or 21 different personality types, and they can really be lumped into 4 different categories. There's the bull, there's the cheetah, there's the lamb, and there's the owl. And I'm going to go through characteristics of each one. And you might have heard this before, I think on the Sales Cast, shout out to the Sales Cast circa 2018 and 2019, where I talked through these 4 specifically when it comes to your clients and how to deal and treat with each one of these. Wouldn't you know it, when you're a leader, or when you're a salesperson, a sales rep, your clients are the people buying from you. Crazy, right? Weird concept. Here's the deal. When you transcend and go up or accelerate into a leadership position, or you get thrusted into one, your clients are now those salespeople. So that same rule of those 4 personalities not only applies to the clients, but they apply to the people that you now lead. So you're going to have a bull type personality as a team member that you lead. You're going to have a lamb type of personality that is a team member that you lead. You're going to have a cheetah type of personality that is someone that you lead, or you're going to have an owl that you're going to lead that's their personality type. And you have to lead them differently. You really do. You have to lead them according to their personality type. And this is my biggest leadership lesson that I want to share with the group. Again, the golden rule, cross that out. It's just the life rule, treat people how they want to be treated, coincides with this business concept of different personality types. So let's talk about it. The bull, somebody that's very aggressive, that is maybe loud, maybe eccentric, maybe an extrovert, maybe somebody that is blunt or whatever the case is. Here's how you lead a bull. You're a bull right back. You don't answer questions with other questions. You answer them with exactly what that person's looking for. These are your type A personality team members that are getting the job done no matter what it takes. Maybe these folks are the folks that do such a damn good job that they leave early. These are folks that, I don't know, probably are your highest earners. If you scale 1 to 10, they're probably 9s and 10s, not because of their talent, just because of their go-getter attitude and how aggressive they are. These are people that are probably more likely to make mistakes. It's the truth. Not because their intentions are in the wrong place, but simply because, very simply, they're moving so fast and they're a bull literally in a china shop. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to go through speed bumps. And we have to lead them just a little bit differently. We have to be blunt with them. We have to set strong guideposts on exactly what we want them doing and when. We have to ultimately put carrots in front of their face so that ultimately they can be led with their goals, because these are folks that are very goal-oriented. We just have to lead bulls with a bullish mentality. This is what I'm best with. This is what I love to do. A lot of the folks on my teams in the past, they have been bulls, and it's been fun, that's for sure. They don't always, by the way, and you might be thinking in your mind right now and envisioning a bull as like some buff dude. That's not the case. Like, not at all. They don't have to look like you, but their personality type, right? You can't see it. Your personality type is that of the characteristics I just said. Then you have maybe the lamb, maybe somebody that's a little bit newer, maybe somebody that's maybe a little bit more meek, soft-spoken, right? We all have those people. It's fine. You have to build a little bit more rapport, spend a little bit more time with those folks. Really hold their hand through processes. They're not trustworthy people, right? They're great people. They're maybe not trustworthy. Maybe you have to provide examples and social proof to really get them to buy in. And these are folks that you're going to have to retrain and train and train and retrain again. That's what it takes for these folks. Again, all of these personalities are great personalities, and they're necessary to have a very diverse and inclusive environment, which is what you want. Again, you can have top performers in each category, no matter what and whatever you do, in all 4 personality types. I promise you, I've done it. I've seen it. You just have to lead them how they want to be led. Lead them how they want to be led. So that would be more of your lambish type of human, right? Then you have the cheetah. Oh, the cheetah. The cheetah wants to be like everybody else. The cheetah wants to be the cool guy or girl. The cheetah wants to have everything that everybody else wants to have, that looks up to everybody, and will do really whatever you say. Really. It's the truth. These are the folks that I would personally pair up with, maybe like a bull. Like, hey, I want you to go beat X person in sales. Hey, your quota for the month is 31, which is 30 more than, Pastor Padre Rob, whatever the case is. These are folks that want to keep up with the Joneses. These are folks that want to buy the nice cars. These are the folks that are my favorite because ultimately, I know maybe I said bulls are my favorite and lambs are my favorite too. They're all my favorite. But cheaters are my favorite. Why? Because they get into debt too. It's kind of great. You know what debt creates? A loyal team member and somebody who's going to work their ass off because they got to pay their bills, right? So I love these folks. They're great. How do you lead them? Again, you pair them up with somebody. You give them a stretch goal, so to speak, for the month, for the week, for the this, for the that, for the day. You give them some time off. You really understand what motivates them the most is probably recognition, right? They want to be recognized the most. And maybe you prop them out in front of the group. Maybe you send a company-wide email. Maybe you drop a voicemail to your team propping this person out. This person is high vibes, high energy, and they need that constantly. And last, but certainly not least, is the owl. That's right. Who? What are you, a fucking owl? Yes, I'm a fucking owl. This is the person that is the nerd. I can't say it any better. I'm not making fun of them. You know what I mean? I'm not making fun of them. But it's the person that ultimately needs to know the why behind everything. It's the person that's slowest maybe to speak, but always has good things to contribute. It's the person that is hardest to get on board with company initiatives or things that you're looking to sell or whatever the case is. It's just the truth. These are people that are a little bit more analytical. Folks that want to see the brass tacks and numbers and know every single thing. Doesn't matter. I want to know everything before, guess what? I present that loan option. I present that insurance policy. I present that ClickFunnels, whatever the hell you're selling. They want to know every single thing about it before they go in. How do you lead them? Well, you got to give them their space. This is the hardest one for me. You got to give them their space, in my opinion. You got to help them understand that what you're selling, which if you're selling something that's shitty, I've said it before on the sales cast, I'll say it again. If you're selling something that's not helping people, get the fuck off this episode and tune out. Because I've sold trash before and I felt dirty doing it. You should too. So my point is with owls, now that I digressed, is you have to show them the benefits, features, and things that your product, whatever you're selling, mortgages, for example, does for the client and how great that thing is. These folks are skeptical. Why do they want to know everything down to the penny? Well, because they have an analytical mind. They want to make sure they're not ripping people off. These are people with great hearts and great minds and want to make sure that what they're doing is actually benefiting the person, which is a great thing. And again, it should be. But these are folks that just need a little bit more time and a little bit more space. If you give them the right tools, right, which is maybe amortization schedules, maybe email tools, anything numbers related or whatever the case is, you give them a little bit of time and space to make their decisions and help them make their decisions along the way, but not be pushy. And you give them a little bit of autonomy. And ultimately, you give them a little bit of responsibility within inside of your team or your organization. It's going to go a hell of a long way. These are folks that I've seen turn from I don't want to do this anymore to lifelong badasses once we've given that time, that respect, that the tools, and ultimately that responsibility. So again, you got the bull, you got the lamb, you got the cheetah, you got the owl. Again, you need all four to have a diverse and inclusive environment within inside of your organization. Again, there's many others, but those are the four that I want to cover with you because they do have such vast differences in characteristics and how you should lead each one of them. So hopefully you found this stuff valuable. My biggest leadership lesson. I've lost a lot of folks. I've been in a lot of incredible rooms. I've had to make a lot of decisions on the fly, is treat people how they would like to be treated, is lead people how they would like to be led. That's my biggest learning lesson when it comes to leadership. I appreciate you listening. Share the show if you found any value in it. We appreciate you. And we'll definitely talk to you soon. Bye.